in private and virtual practice now for 25 years plus, and am a pioneer in holistic health, creator of the Body Code system, author of the Emotion Code, and am an international speaker, healer, and author. So let's talk about knee pain for a minute. Knee pain is experienced by about 19% of people on average, but it increases in both frequency and severity with age. 15 to 20% of men and 20% of women experience knee pain, and 18% of adolescents, interestingly enough, versus about 4% of children experience knee pain. With adolescents, the rate of knee pain is about equal between boys and girls. Studies show that there has been a recent surge in knee replacement surgeries in recent years. Kind of interesting. The medical community says that the cause is aging and weight gain. Okay. Well, let's take a look at that. This webinar will expose the real truth about knee pain, truth that the medical community is actually not really aware of. So, the medical community views knee pain as a musculoskeletal problem and treats it with exercise, physical therapy, drugs, and surgery. Some chiropractors address knee misalignments, which can cause knee pain. And of course, misalignments in the low back and the pelvis and the feet can also cause knee pain. The Emotion Code and the Body Code create balance in the 6 areas of health and work to relieve and prevent knee pain by addressing the true underlying causes. And hopefully we'll have some people on our call today that actually have knee pain, and we can do some live demonstrations on them. So what causes knee pain? Well, really, imbalance in any of the 6 areas of health. So energetic imbalances will cause knee pain, such as trapped emotions. We'll talk about more of that in detail later. Toxins, believe it or not, such as caffeine and other chemicals. And I know that there are some of you that just had your coffee cup stop in midair, right? Circuit imbalances in organs and glands. We'll talk about that as well. Pathogens, such as viral, bacterial infections, and so on. And structural imbalances, such as spinal or knee misalignments. Nutritional imbalances, excuse me, such as dehydration and excess fat in the diet will also do it. So here's some secrets about knee pain that people just don't really know. First of all, left knee pain and right knee pain often have completely different causes. Injury or strain is usually not random. In other words, a knee injury is often predictable if you know what to look for, even if there are no other obvious signs. And we'll talk about that more in a few minutes as well. So you can actually predict if someone is going to get a knee injury. In other words, somebody who doesn't have any knee pain right now, you can actually check some things on them pretty easily and find out if they are set up for an injury. Energetic and circuit imbalances create vulnerability for physical injury, which we're going to go into more detail here in a minute. So first of all, we need to talk about circuits. The body has electrical circuits much like a house. So imagine that this is the circuit board in your house, okay? And you know how this works. The organs and glands are linked with specific muscles. And so when an organ or gland becomes overloaded or imbalanced, the muscles on that circuit become weak or imbalanced as well. And overloaded circuits are a huge yet secret cause of knee pain. So let me explain this. Let's say, for example, you are in your bathroom, okay, of your house, and you plug in an arc welder, okay, plus every blow dryer that you have, as well as all the curling irons that are in there, and you turn them all on at the same instant. What's going to happen? It's going to draw too much power through that fuse, and to prevent a fire from occurring, that fuse is going to trip or blow. And so the power suddenly shuts off because you were drawing too much power. To turn the lights back on in the bathroom, you're going to have to go out and flip that circuit breaker on your breaker box. Now, in the body, it's very, very similar. What happens is when you overload any organ or gland, you can basically trip that circuit or blow the fuse to that organ or gland. And there are certain muscles that are always connected up with that organ or gland. And what we're going to be talking about today are specifically a couple of glands in the body, well, specifically the adrenal glands and the gallbladder, that actually have a lot to do with knee pain, okay, because of their connections with the muscles that are involved in the knee joint. So let's take a look at the biggest culprits that create knee pain. Culprit number one is stress. Stress overloads the adrenal circuits. Now, you've heard of the fight or flight reaction. If you haven't, basically what happens is you can imagine if you're walking down the path in the forest and suddenly there's a bear in front of you that raises up on his hind legs and roars at you, you're going to go into what we call the fight or flight reaction. And the adrenal glands kick into gear. Their job is to produce adrenaline and cortisol. And those hormones get your body ready to either fight the bear or run away. All right. The problem is that, of course, most of us don't face bears too often. Although I remember I did a seminar up in British Columbia, and I asked how many people had actually had that happen with a bear, and it seemed like most of the hands went up. Pretty scary. But for most of us, stress like that occurs from just the things that are in our lives, the things we face every day. Getting a letter from the IRS, or watching the news on TV, or getting stuck in traffic, or getting cut off in traffic, or having an argument with your spouse, or dealing with the problems that your kids are going through, and so on. And the problem is that extreme or repeated stressful episodes overload and short circuit the adrenal glands. Now, the interesting thing about this is the muscles that are on that adrenal gland circuit, well, of course, they're connected with the adrenal. So when the adrenal glands overload, that muscle overloads as well. Or in other words, when the adrenal glands short circuit and blow their fuse, they don't do so in a vacuum. There are certain muscles that go right along with that. In this case, it's the muscles that are here in the back of the knee, the back of the leg, the calf muscles. There are a couple of other muscles also that cross the knee joint that are associated with this. And so the reason why people usually get left knee pain first, because as a sign of stress, is because the left adrenal usually blows out first or short circuits first. Because in the body, remember that anytime you have a paired organ, like the lungs or the kidneys or the adrenal glands, the left sides are usually the main and the right are the reserve. So the left adrenal gland will kind of take the brunt of all the stress, and it will tend to short circuit first. And when it short circuits, that muscle that you're seeing there in orange, those muscles in the back of the leg, will short circuit as well. And so left knee pain is often the very first sign that a person's stress level has become dangerously high. So when you meet people and they tell you that their left knee hurts, it's pretty much a no-brainer that they've got a left adrenal gland imbalance and that there's a lot of stress going on in their life. And so you can actually sound like a really intelligent person if they tell you that their left knee hurts and you say, wow, you've been under a lot of stress, haven't you? They're probably going to look at you and wonder how you know, okay? And of course, right knee pain is often not far behind, often because when the left adrenal blows, then eventually the right adrenal will blow out as well and imbalance and become unhappy. So if you test someone and you find that both adrenal glands are shorted out and are unhappy and imbalanced, then that's a pretty good indicator that they've been under some prolonged stress or extreme stress. Okay. Culprit number two, caffeine, believe it or not. And here we have a cup of coffee and also an energy drink. So caffeine's a toxic but very common chemical found in most homes and, of course, in all Starbucks stores. It agitates and overloads the adrenals and causes a miniature fight or flight reaction to happen in the body. Those of you that drink caffeine, have you ever noticed that if you've had a cup of coffee, that you are more irritable and that you may have a little more anxiety after drinking that cup of coffee than you did before? Now, of course, people drink coffee to try to get work done and so on, but there's definitely a trade-off. Half the adults in the U.S. drink coffee daily. But it also may explain why adolescents experience knee pain far more than younger children, especially nowadays because they are drinking these energy drinks. And one of the big ingredients, of course, in these energy drinks is caffeine. And so a lot of these kids are getting hurt playing ball and doing other things, and they're having knee pain, and they don't understand it. And of course, the medical profession has absolutely no clue that these energy drinks are a huge underlying cause of that. And again, usually we'll see left knee pain first, followed by right knee pain in many cases. So, culprit number 3, emotional imbalance. Trapped emotions are the single largest underlying cause of knee pain. They create stress, overload various circuits in the body, and cause us to choose negative emotions. Now, also, if you choose to feel bitter or angry or resentful, etc., that will create a huge strain on the gallbladder. And what we're talking about here are the gallbladder primarily affects the right knee. So we're going to talk about that here in a minute. The gallbladder, by the way, produces the emotions shown on the chart at right, such as anger, resentment, depression, frustration, and so on. If you choose to experience these emotions, you're more likely to overload and imbalance the gallbladder and the liver as well. So you can see these emotions: anger, bitterness, guilt, hatred, resentment, depression, frustration, indecisiveness, panic, and feeling taken for granted. So if you choose to really experience those, and of course we can choose what emotions we feel, remember that those emotions are going to be coming out of the liver, out of the gallbladder, and so you'll tend to imbalance those organs. Now, when the gallbladder is overloaded, the muscles on the gallbladder circuit become imbalanced. One of those is in the right shoulder. It's the right anterior deltoid muscle. But since we're doing a webinar today about the knee, we're looking at the muscle that short circuits in the right knee, and that's actually the popliteus muscle that you can see there in orange. Okay. So if the gallbladder gets overloaded, it shorts out that muscle on the right side of the body. Okay. So the right knee then starts to become painful and or weak and vulnerable to strain and injury. So in other words, think about it this way. Okay. Did God give you any extra muscles around your knee joint that you just really don't need? Are there any that are just totally superfluous there? And of course, the answer is no, that would be ridiculous. We need all of those muscles to keep that joint functioning and to keep those joint surfaces mating together perfectly, and to make sure that that joint lasts as long as possible. So let's imagine now that we're looking at a real person, and let's imagine that we magically remove that popliteus muscle on the right side. We wave our magic wand, and now suddenly that muscle is gone. Did that muscle serve some kind of a purpose to help that joint to function better? And obviously the answer is yes. So now what do we have? With that muscle being removed, is that joint now more stable or less stable than it was before? And the answer, of course, is that it's less stable. Well, when you have a joint that's less stable, what happens? Well, as you're doing all the things that you're doing, there are a couple of things that go on. As you move around and walk around, or maybe even run, or maybe play sports and so on, what happens is now those joint surfaces are not balanced like they should be. So the joint is not mating together as well as it should, and so you start to get uneven wearing in the joint. Okay, and that's the first stage of what we call osteoarthritis. That joint starts to wear out prematurely. Okay. So after a while, that premature wearing of the joint starts to hurt because that knee joint now is sending a message to your brain telling you, hey, I have a problem here, and you need to look at something. There's something wrong with me. That's why we get pain. Okay, that's the body's way of telling us something is wrong. Let's say that this person goes out on the floor to play basketball, and he's missing that muscle on the right side. Is he going to be more likely to injure his left knee or his right knee? And of course, the answer is, in this case, right knee. Okay, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. So when you overload an organ, okay, and you short circuit that organ and the muscle shorts out with it, you're likely to experience some problems. Now, another way that we can overload, in this case, the gallbladder, is by eating too many fatty foods. The gallbladder generates bile, which is kind of like the body's detergent. Okay, it actually helps us to break down fat in the digestive tract. But if we eat an overabundance of fatty foods, like you see here in the picture, then that overloads the gallbladder and can lead to the gallbladder shorting out, essentially. It's the easiest way to think of it. And of course, then that imbalances the knee joint. All right. Now, we talked about trapped emotions. What if you get a trapped emotion in the knee joint? that lands in the knee joint. Could that happen? Absolutely. Will that affect the way the knee joint works? Sure. And like I said, the number one underlying cause of knee pain is trapped emotions. But what if a trapped emotion lodges in the gallbladder itself? Will that imbalance the gallbladder? Yes, it will. And that will then imbalance the muscle in the back of the right knee. Okay. So let me tell you a story. I had a woman who came into me when I was in practice years ago, and she said to me, Dr. Nelson, I have a problem. My knees are killing me, and I can't jazzercise anymore because they hurt so much. And she said, if I can't jazzercise, I can't lose weight. And if I can't lose weight, I'm going to lose my husband. You have to help me. And there's some things that you just never forget when you're in practice. And this was one of those because I thought, man, there's no stress here. I just have to save this lady's knees and her marriage. But what I found was that she had imbalances going on in both her left adrenal gland, which was affecting her left knee and creating pain there, and she had an imbalance in the gallbladder. And by the way, she had two trapped emotions, one that was lodged in her body affecting and blowing out that left adrenal gland, and the other trapped emotion was lodged in the area of the gallbladder. So we cleared those emotions, and by the next day she was out of pain, and by the end of the week she was back jazzercising. So I'm hoping that it saved her marriage. I really don't remember. But anyway, sports injuries oftentimes happen. By the way, roughly 90% in my experience of all sports injuries occur in part due to an underlying imbalance in the body, and many could be prevented. Okay, so here's a guy that blew out his, I can't remember his name, escapes me. I think it's Derek something, but blew out his knee. And I don't know if this is exactly the moment that he blew it out, but think about this, okay? All the muscles in the body need to be functioning together and they need to be balanced. And the organs and the glands affect the balance of those muscles. And so think about it. If you're this guy and you go out on the floor and you've got a short circuit in your gallbladder, guess what? You are set up for injury in that right knee. What if you go out to play and you've got a short in your left adrenal? Well, you're likely to injure that left knee. See, that's just how it works. And now if you think about the whole entire body, okay, and all the organs and glands and all the muscles and things that they affect, then you start to understand how important it is to balance things out. And so interesting. So is adrenal or gallbladder imbalance causing your knee pain? How can you tell? Well, you can just ask. Your subconscious mind knows. And of course, that's way better than guessing. Other common signs of adrenal imbalance, by the way, are fatigue, sleep disturbances, like not sleeping well, sensitivity to light, lower back pain, joint noise, brain fog, recurring infections, allergies, and trouble dealing with stress. By the way, joint noise, that's a very interesting thing. Now, some of you might not have ever heard of that, but I remember a young girl who came in to see me. Well, her parents brought her in. She was about 10 or 11 years old. And this girl could not move without having noise come out of her knees. And so what I found with her, in other words, this creaking and cracking, and some of you have that going on now. And believe it or not, that's not really supposed to be normal. And what we found with this girl was that her adrenal glands had gotten overloaded, some stressful thing that happened that it's long forgotten to me. But we corrected those adrenal glands. They were both imbalanced. And surprisingly enough, that joint pain went away in very short order. Okay, I remember her because I had her walk down the hallway in my office, and she sounded like a hay wagon. All this noise coming out of her knees. It was really amazing. And then to see that completely stop and go away was really something. But that's a great story because it helps you to understand how powerful it is to make sure that these organs are balanced, and because they definitely have effects on joints of the body. So some other common signs of gallbladder imbalance are right shoulder pain, discomfort or pain under the right rib cage, especially after eating a fatty meal because your gallbladder is working and trying to squeeze out bile to digest that fat, indigestion, and also, of course, emotions such as anger and frustration. So some other potential causes of knee pain. First of all, arthritis. Now, there are a couple of different kinds of arthritis. There's autoimmune arthritis, such as rheumatoid arthritis. There are some other types as well. And what's happening there is that your immune system is kind of gone haywire, okay? And it is attacking the tissues in your joints, all right? In this case, in the knees. So typically, pain that is symmetrical on both sides is often caused by some kind of autoimmune problem, although not always. But that's something that you can get tested for. Go see your doctor, and they can run some tests and tell you exactly if it's an autoimmune problem. If it is, there are still ways to address that. Autoimmune diseases occur because of imbalances in the body, just like everything else. And so correcting those imbalances is the best way to help your body to overcome that. And then another kind of arthritis is osteoarthritis. And osteoarthritis basically just means that the joint is wearing out prematurely. This is often attributed to being overweight or to old age. And so if you go to the doctor and you've got knee pain, if you go to a medical doctor, they'll probably x-ray your knees, and they'll very likely come back and tell you your problem is really just because of old age if you're getting older. And if you've got pain in one knee and not the other, then what you say to them is, well, the other knee is the same age. And then we'll see what they say. So sometimes infections can occur in the joints as well, and of course that'll tend to destroy the joint, just like these other two. Okay, they look differently on X-ray, and but they basically will all create arthritis. Now, of course, you can also have a direct injury to the knee that can create arthritis as well. Typically, when you have a direct injury, what's going to happen is you're going to end up with some kind of osteoarthritis where the joint is wearing out prematurely. The joint space there is disappearing, the cartilage is disappearing. And if you've read the Emotion Code book, you might remember a story where my uncle had injured his knee as a young man, and when he was elderly, someone gave him some of the magnets made by Nikken, the Japanese wellness company. And he started wearing those magnets on his knee, and he didn't notice any difference. Now, I remember going to his house when I was a kid and staying over at their house sometimes, sleeping over. They didn't have any kids, and so I guess it was kind of fun for them maybe to have me hang out. And I remember his knee, even then, always was wrapped with ace bandages. And so that was a long time ago. So he had wrapped his knee pretty much all of his life. And after wearing these magnets, on the 10th day of wearing the magnets, suddenly his pain went away. And he couldn't believe it, got excited, went to see the doctor. And his cartilage had actually regenerated. So that's a pretty exciting thing. I don't guarantee that's going to happen for you, but I remember seeing those x-rays and being amazed. And he tried to talk to his medical doctors about that, and it was kind of outside of their box, so they didn't really want to talk about it with him. But so there are definitely things that you can do. Of course, imbalance in the acupuncture system will also create knee pain. For example, imbalance in the gallbladder meridian or other meridians can affect that. Misalignment in the knee itself, misalignment in the foot, misalignment in the pelvis and the low back. There's different misalignments because the body is all connected structurally. So if you get a structural imbalance, let's say, for example, your hip joint gets out of alignment, that can translate over time into knee pain. If your low back gets out of alignment and you've got irritation affecting the nerves that are supplying the muscles in the leg and in the thigh, that can also imbalance things and can create knee pain as well. So, and of course, then there are also some metaphysical connections with knee pain, and these are kind of interesting. So, for example, if you're kind of stuck not wanting to bend or not wanting to be flexible, that can actually end up creating knee pain for you. Not being willing to give into authority. I'm not sure what this picture is. Natalie found this for me, but it's interesting. A beautiful painting. Being prideful, okay, not being willing to bend the knee to the higher power, that can create knee pain for you. Letting your ego run the show, okay, you know who you are. Stubbornness, okay. So how do we avoid injury and strain? Well, make sure that your gallbladder and both adrenal glands, especially, are happy and balanced. And if you have the Emotion Code, you know that that we talk about the organs and glands in the body, that they have their own intelligence, and you can actually ask them through muscle testing if an organ, you can ask an organ or a gland if it's actually happy or if it's in a state of contentment or and so on. And if it's not, if there's something wrong with it, if it's shorted out, if it's unhappy in some way, then you can figure out using the body code what that imbalance is. And if you don't have the body code, you can ask your gallbladder if it's happy, and if it's not, the most common underlying cause of an unhappy organ or gland is what? Trapped emotions. So you can find those trapped emotions and release those. So remember that most of the time, if you have pain in the left knee or pain in the right knee, the most common underlying problem is a trapped emotion. And usually those trapped emotions are not actually in the knee themselves. They're actually in the body, in the trunk of the body, and they're actually shorting out those organs that are really primary to those muscles. In other words, the muscles don't usually short out by themselves. They are usually secondary to the organ or the gland. Okay, so the gallbladder will short out, that affects the muscle. The adrenal gland shorts out, that affects the muscles. So that's how that works usually. So balanced organs and glands means strong, healthy muscles that function just how they are supposed to, and that means that those joints are going to be held together just like they're supposed to, and those joint surfaces are going to mate perfectly, and they're going to last your whole life instead of giving out on you when you still have about 30 or 40 years to live and then having to go and get a joint replacement. You want to try to avoid that at all cost. Remember that if any certain muscle is weakened by organ or gland imbalance, you'll be vulnerable to injuring or straining it even through your day-to-day activities. Okay, so keep that in mind. You don't have to go out and play sports to end up having an injury if you've got an imbalance like this going on in the gallbladder or adrenals. So be proactive. You want to use the body code to eliminate problems before they start. Okay, that's the ideal way to do it. So we're going to take some volunteers now. And of course, this webinar is all about knee pain. So if you have knee pain, go ahead and click the hand, and we'll work with you and see what we can figure out. Okay, and I think this will be fun. And so let's see here. All right, let me see if we can talk with Gail here.
Yes.
So let's go to the body code mind map and fill me in here. What's going on?
I have a history of, knee problems. I injured my left knee when I was in high school.
Okay.
And then over the years, I've had problems also with my right knee.
Okay.
And about 3 years ago, I injured my right knee in a yoga class.
Okay.
And, off and on since then, both knees have caused me problems. And I know, as you've just said, it's related to stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, what's bothering you right at this very moment?
More like stiffness in both of my knees.
Okay. All right. Well, so you don't have any pain at the moment, but it's just stiff, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I could say I have slight pain, but it's more the stiffness.
Okay. All right. That's fine. So if you try moving your knees, let's see if you're let's just see if you can give a rating on how stiff they are. I don't know, 0 to 10. 10 being they're totally stiff and they won't move at all, and 0 being, oh, they're really free and feeling good.
Okay, I would say let me move. I would say my left knee is probably a 3, and my right knee is about a 5.
About a 5. Okay.
Right.
All right. Okay, so let's take a look here. And now, for those of you who are new to this, one of the things that we teach is something that we call working by proxy. And the human body has this amazing ability built into it to set aside its own needs. It can set aside its own needs to act on behalf of someone else. And most of you are probably familiar with this. All of this work came down from up above to me, and I'm just the teacher, and I'm just here to show you what you can do. But I highly recommend and encourage you to take a moment before you work on somebody and tune in and ask for the help of that higher power. It just works way better. Otherwise, you're just on your own. Okay, so give me just a second here, and I'll ask for some help for us, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's see if we've got a good connection going here. Can I act as proxy for you? And I'm muscle testing myself, and I'm getting a nice yes answer. Okay, so Okay, so that means that you and I have this energetic connection established now. I can ask questions, and the answers don't come from your conscious mind, but from your subconscious mind, which knows exactly what's going on with you on every level and in every way. And by using that connection, we can figure out what's really going on. So let's ask this question. We could work on either knee. Let's pick one knee to work on. The right knee is a little worse. Is it okay if we work on your right knee? Yes. Okay. So your body says yes. We can work on the right knee. So let's first of all take a look at the gallbladder. Okay. Okay, so here you can see the gallbladder. By the way, we're looking at this is the body code mind map system. If you're not aware of this, I'll explain more about this later. But here you can see the gallbladder. We've got the anterior deltoid muscles here that's connected up to the gallbladder, and then the popliteus in the back of the right knee. Okay. And if you're working on someone and you want to actually test how well the gallbladder is balanced, you can touch this point right here on the body, have them hold out their arm, touch that point, and if the gallbladder is imbalanced, their arm will go down. So let's ask this question first of all, since it's right knee pain. Let's ask, is your gallbladder happy? And drum roll, please, Gail. The answer is no. Gallbladder's not happy. Okay, so we can start there. Okay, so let's ask. Let's go back out to our home page here and let's ask: is there an underlying reason why your gallbladder is not happy? And of course, the answer there is yes. Now, your gallbladder might be full of gallstones or something like that. And we don't diagnose things like that, but typically, like I said, the most common underlying imbalance in organs and glands is trapped emotion. So let's find out. This underlying imbalance, is it on the right side of our chart? No, it's on the left. Okay, so again, I'm communicating with your subconscious mind, asking questions and getting answers. There's nothing magical about this. Anybody can do this. So is this an energetic imbalance? So we are up here on the chart. And is it emotional? And the answer is yes. Okay, so there's definitely something emotional there. And I'm going to just bring this over a little ways. There we go. Okay, so is this a trapped emotion? And the answer is yes. So is it in column A? No. So it's in column B then. And is it in one of the odd rows? It's row 1, 3, or 5 in column B. And the answer is no. So is it in row 2, column B, or row 4? It's in row 4, column B. So we've narrowed it down to depression, frustration, indecisiveness, panic, or taken for granted. Now, in this case, take a look over here, row 4. That's liver, gallbladder, right? Now, understand, though, that really this could be any emotion, because any emotion that's produced by any organ or gland, any emotion can land anywhere, lodge anywhere. In this particular case, it looks like it's probably coming from, it originally came from either the liver or the gallbladder, or maybe both. So let's ask, what is this emotion? Is it depression? Is it frustration? Is it indecisiveness? Is it panic? Is it taken for granted? Oh, guess what? It isn't any of those. So do you know what that means, Gail?
Inherited.
That is right. It's an inherited trapped emotion. And let's see what it is. Is it inherited depression or inherited frustration or inherited indecisiveness or inherited panic? Oh, it's an inherited emotion of panic. And who'd you get this from? Did you get this from your mom or from your dad? You got it from your dad. And did he get it from anybody earlier? No, it just came from your dad. Do we need to know more about this emotion? And the answer there that I'm getting is no. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take a magnet. And by the way, why do we ask if we need to know more about this emotion? Let me explain this. You always want to ask if there's more you need to know about the emotion, and the reason why is because if there's something deeper that needs to be brought to conscious awareness about this, okay, like let's say for example this well, now in this case of course it was inherited, but there still may be something that you might need to know. Okay, so you always want to ask that question, because what I have found is if you don't ask that question and you just release the emotion, it may come back. You might not really have released it, in other words, because there might be more information that the subconscious wanted you to know about it. So you want to be thorough with these, because you want to treat these trapped emotions, every single one of them, with all the respect that they deserve, because one trapped emotion can really ruin your day and really ruin your life. I mean, if it ends up leading to some serious problem for you. So panic, do we need to know more about this one? The answer is no. So I'm going to go ahead and take a magnet. And I'm going to roll this magnet over my forehead to the back of my neck. I'm doing that 10 times. We do that 10 times for an inherited emotion, and that releases that trapped emotion from you, your dad, and hopefully I'm also having an intention to release it from any of your kids. If you have any kids, do you have any kids?
Yeah, I have two adopted daughters.
Okay, two adopted daughters. All right, so no worries. So you wouldn't have passed it on to them because they're just birth kids. Okay, so let's ask, did we release that trapped emotion, that inherited emotion of panic that you got from your dad at the moment of conception? And the answer is yes. Okay, good. So now, why don't you go ahead? That was affecting your right gallbladder. Okay. Okay. Why don't you go ahead and move it around a little bit? Let's see how it feels now, stiffness-wise. Let's see if you can put a number on it now. It was about a 5 before.
I'd say about a 4.
Okay, it's about a 4. Okay. All right. So let's take a look here. And so we've got a little bit of improvement there. So let's ask again. Let's ask: is your gallbladder happy now? Well, the answer there is no. So with right knee pain, what we would want to do is we would want to pursue this until that gallbladder is happy. Okay, because if that gallbladder is not happy, that knee pain's it's not going to really or that knee stiffness, whatever it is, that imbalance in the knee is not going to go away. So that's how I would approach this. So let's ask this question: is there another underlying reason why your gallbladder is unhappy? And the answer is yes. And is it on the right side of our chart? And that's a weak muscle test. So it's got to be over here somewhere. So is it some kind of energy? Yes. Is it emotional? No. Is it post-traumatic? No. See where we are? We're right here. Is it an allergy or some kind of intolerance? No. Is it a mental energy? Actually, it is a mental energy. Let's click on that one. So mental energies are things like will to die energy, no will to live, images, things like that. Let's take a look. This energy, your subconscious mind knows exactly what this is, this mental energy. Is it on the left side of our chart? And the answer is no. So we know it's over here. Is it an image? No. Is it a broadcast message? No. Is it a need to move the past? Actually, it's a need to move the past. Now, this is interesting. Past memories are sometimes stored in front of a person energetically. That makes it very difficult to move ahead in life. Now, if you think about this, of course, this is this is part of the body code. Sometimes what happens to us is that we have something that goes on, and something goes wrong in our life. We have something bad happen, and then the memory of that thing is something that we sometimes tend to dwell on too much instead of leaving it behind us. And so, you see, we have an energy field. We're beings of pure energy. The energy field from the heart extends out around you 12 feet in diameter. And memories seem to be stored in that energy field. And so if you have a specific memory about something that you keep thinking about and dwelling on, the subconscious mind apparently will bring the energy of that memory around in front of you and put it right in front of your face so that it's right there, easy to retrieve. So the problem is that it's, like it says here, it's very difficult to move ahead because you're trying to get to the future by moving through the past all the time. Does that kind of make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So now think about this as well. Okay. Here's kind of a metaphysical angle on this. If you're trying to move ahead in your life, but you got a bad memory there, the metaphysical aspect of this is that the universe is going to try to slow you down by making your knee hurt, maybe, or your knee's going to hurt because you're trying to get to the future, but there's something in your way. Anyway, it's a little bit hard to explain, but let's ask if this is a specific memory of something that happened to you, and the answer there is yes. Sometimes these will just be memories in general, like all your past memories, but sometimes it's not. So this is a specific memory, okay? Need to move the past, a specific memory from when? I think I can help you here if we figure out when this occurred. How old are you right now, Gail?
68.
68. Okay, so let's divide your life roughly in half, and we'll ask, did this occur earlier than age 30? No. Between 30 and 40, no. 40 to 50, no. 50 to 60, okay, bingo. So sometime between 50 and 60. Did this occur between 50 and 55, or 56, or 57, or 58? 58, so right around 10 years ago. Does that ring any kind of a bell at all?
Uh,
So that would be roughly 2003, maybe 2002.
yeah, I was refinancing my house, and that was a very stressful time.
Okay, very stressful time. All right. Is that what this is about? Uh, well, I'm getting a yes on that. You can test yourself and see. Is there more we need to know about this? Okay, now we're getting a no answer. Okay. So let's go ahead then, and we can move the past. And how we do this is by just rolling 3 times down the governing meridian while holding an intention to move the past from the front to the back. So we're moving that past back behind you where it belongs. Okay. And this can seem like a kind of a strange sort of a thing, but I'm telling you, I've seen this work really amazing, miraculously in some cases. So, all right, so let's take a look here and let's ask: Do we move that past memory successfully from being in front of you to being behind you? And the answer there is yes. Okay, what I'd like you to do now is go ahead and maybe get up and move around or whatever you were doing there to test that knee, and let's see how that feels now compared to how it was feeling before.
I'd say it's down to a 1.
Ah, it's down to a 1 now. Okay, good. So, all right. Now, just for fun here, let's come back to our main page and let's ask, is there another underlying imbalance that we could correct here that will help you with that right knee imbalance? And the answer that I'm getting right now is no. So that either means that no, there are no other energetic imbalances or any other kind of imbalances. Are there any other imbalances of any kind? No. So any hidden imbalances of any kind? No. Okay. So your subconscious mind is saying no. That's it, and that may mean that that either means that no, we're totally done with it forever, or it may mean that we're done for now. That's all the body can handle, and there might be something else that might crop up later. But hey, to go from a 5 stiffness level to a 1, wow, that's pretty good.
That's great. Thank you.
Definitely feels better than it did, right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, awesome. So isn't that interesting? Thank you, Gail. Appreciate your
Yeah,
time, and
thank you.
hopefully, yeah, you bet, and hopefully that'll just continue to improve. And I think that was a really good demonstration for everybody of how this works. All right, well, we got more people with knee pain, so I'm going to go ahead and mute your line. Thank you, and keep us posted, okay?
Okay.
Okay, bye bye. All right. So isn't that interesting? So you see what we're seeing here, for those of you who are maybe new to this is really what we call energy medicine. Okay, this is energy medicine, and I believe this is really the purest form of energy medicine, and one of the most effective forms, probably honestly the most effective form of energy medicine that's ever been devised. I don't take any credit for this. How this system came about was well, you can read about it if you go to this website, bodycodehealingsystem.com. You can click on About Dr. Nelson, and I tell you the whole story, how it all came about, and it really came about as answers to prayer, really, that I was asking for help all the time as I was working with people in my office, trying to help them get well. And so the Body Code system now is available as a self study course, and it is the most advanced program, most advanced self study course in energy healing that exists on the planet. So, and I don't take any credit for it. I would like to, the ego part of me would like to, but I just work here. So anyway, it really came down from up above. So let's take a look at another person here. Let's talk with Sharan. Sharan, are you there?
Hello.
Hi, how are
Hi,
you?
Dr. Brad. I'm good, thank you.
Nice to talk with you. We
Other
haven't
than my
talked for
knee.
a while. Huh?
I know we haven't.
Yeah. So are you having
Um,
right knee
I
trouble
no, left
or
knee.
left knee trouble? Okay.
Yeah, I had an injury last November, and I fell over a concrete block in the dark, and I've landed on my knees. So
Ooh.
it's since then, it's the It's not actually the knee, it's just below the knee. There's the tibia.
Uh-huh.
So when I go up and down the stairs, I can actually feel the tibia there. I was told it was an inflammation. So, but
Mm-hmm.
I know there's more to it than that.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's see if we can figure this one out. I love a challenge, but the beautiful thing is there's always an answer. See, and the body code gives you such um, it gives you such confidence really to be able to deal with whatever it is that comes along because the subconscious mind actually has all the answers, and who knew? But that's how things work. So let's take a look here, Sharon. First of all, we'll have a moment of silence, and I'll ask for some help for us from the higher power, and then we'll get going. All right?
Thank you.
All right, let's take a look here. So do we have a good connection here? Can I act as proxy for you? And good, we got a nice connection, no problem. All right, so let's see here. So let's focus in on that left knee. And is there an underlying reason why that knee is still not right? And the answer is yes. Okay, so what is that reason? Is the reason on the left side of our chart? And the answer there is no. So it's on the right side then. So is it some kind of a pathogen? Is it something structural? Oh, guess what? It's something structural. Okay, so I think let's see here. What we'll do. I think I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a little glimpse into the new version of the body code that's coming up here really soon. Let me see here if I can show my bookmarks bar. Here we go. Okay. Now it may not actually look like it might not actually be in these colors, but we're about we're about a month away from releasing the Body Code Edition 2, and so we're revamping a lot of stuff. And there's something structural going on with you, which means that you have some kind of a structural misalignment. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the new body code is going to be quite a bit more advanced than the old one. So let's take a look and see what this is. Is this a structural misalignment in the skeleton? The answer is yes. Now it could have been something else, but it's in the skeleton. So we've got the axial skeleton or the appendicular skeleton. Don't worry about that. You just test to see where it is. Is the imbalance uh, on the right or the left? It's in the appendicular skeleton. So is it in upper limb or lower limb? It's in a lower limb. Okay. And my link is broke. My link is broken. All right, well, no problem. Let's see. Give me just a second here. Oh, you know what? This is going to take some time. I guess we'll have to use the old one. Sorry, I was going to show you the new one, but we're not really done with it yet. So.
I was getting all excited then.
I know, me too. I was excited to show you, but that's okay. But what do you think so far? It looks good, right?
Yeah, looks very good.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun.
Looking forward to that.
Okay, so we know it's in the lower body. All right, so there's some kind of a misalignment, some kind of an imbalance going on there. Let's see what it is, okay? So is it on the right side of our chart here? And the answer is no, so it's on the left. So is it in the leg? Yes. Is it the patella or the tibia? It's definitely tibia, left side, okay? So that we know that that's unhappy. Is there an underlying cause of that imbalance? And the answer is yes. So in other words, you've got some kind of a misalignment going on in the left tibia, but there's a deeper reason for that. Okay, and let's see what that is. And when we're looking for a deeper reason, we always come back here to the home page and ask, is this reason on the right or the left? It's on the left. So is it some kind of energy? Yes. Is it emotional? No. Post-traumatic? It's a post-traumatic energy. So is it on the left side of this chart? Yes. Is it a psychic or physical trauma? It's actually a physical trauma. So, all right. So let's see here.
Probably guess what that is.
Yeah, well, probably from
landing
on the knees, but there could be something else. Was this from that injury that you sustained? And the answer is yes. Okay. From November. Okay, do we need to know more about this? Okay, now let me ask you something before we release this. If you move that knee, okay, do you notice anything going on with it right now? Or do you have pain in it or stiffness or anything? Or do you just notice it when you move the stairs mainly?
It's normally when I go up and down the stairs, but as I move it and straighten it, I can feel it at the top of the tibia.
Okay. All right, you can. All right. So let's go ahead and we'll release this energy. Okay, this physical trauma. Okay, we'll just roll a few times to clear that out. Let's ask if we've released that physical trauma energy. Okay, let's see here. Do two. Okay, there we go. All right, go ahead and move it now. Let's see how that feels. Did we clear that energy? Yeah, that energy's cleared. So let's see how it's doing so far.
There is a difference.
Okay, good. All right.
It's probably gone down by half or more.
Okay, by half or more. Okay, good. All right, so that's fine. Let's see if there's something else. We'll call that one number one. And so you can see that sometimes there's more than one underlying reason. So no problem. We'll go back out to our homepage here and let's ask, is there another underlying reason for this left tibia, or this, we'll call it this left knee problem? Is there another underlying reason? Yes. Is it on the right side of our chart here? No. Left side. So is it some kind of energy up here in this area? No. Is it due to toxicity? No. Is it due to some kind of a circuit imbalance? Yes. Okay. Is it an organ? No. Gland. Okay, it's a gland. So probably adrenal. Is that what it is? Yep. Okay, so if we look at the adrenal gland, here you can see the emotions that the adrenal glands produce and the test points, and they affect the calf muscles and also a couple of other muscles that cross the knee joint, the gracilis and the sartorius muscles. So that's why when that left adrenal shorts out, gets unhappy, you start to have left knee trouble. So is that what's happening here with you? Is the left adrenal happy? No. Is your right adrenal happy? Actually, it is. So here's a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier, how the left side will usually go first. Okay. So so you've been under some stress apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that that's true?
I would say probably day-to-day
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, just living in the 21st century, I think, is kind of stressful.
Yeah.
All right. So we definitely have an imbalance in that left adrenal. Okay. So the plot thickens here. Now, sometimes when an organ or a gland is unhappy, sometimes it's just blown its fuse. There's really no deeper underlying cause. Sometimes it just got stressed and shorted out, and all you need to do is hit the reset button by just rolling a magnet over the governing meridian a few times. Usually, though, there's a deeper underlying cause. Let's ask, is there a deeper underlying cause for this left adrenal being unhappy? And the answer is yes. Okay, so we always go back out to find deeper imbalances, or to find any kind of imbalance, we always go right here. So let's ask, what's the deeper underlying imbalance here? Is it on the right side or the left? Is it an energy? Yes. Is it emotional? Well, what do you know? Is it a trapped emotion? Yes. Okay. So is it in column A or B? It's in column B. And is it in one of the odd rows or an even row? Is it in row 2 or 4 or 6? In row 6, column B. So is the emotion pride? No. Is it shame, shock? Is it unworthy or worthless? Guess what, Sharon? This is an inherited emotion.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know. And where are you? Are you in London at the moment?
I'm in UK, Birmingham.
You're in Birmingham, okay. All right, so let's see. Left adrenal imbalance due to an inherited trapped emotion. I know Sharon because she has done some great videos for us and has written some articles for us on Healer's Library, and but we haven't talked for a while. So let's take a look here and see what this is. This is an inherited emotion. Did you get this from your father or from your mother? It came from your mother. And what is it? Is it inherited pride or inherited shame or inherited shock? It's inherited shock. So let's see, shock from your mother. Did she get this from anybody earlier? Oh, she did. Did she get it from her mother, from her father? Okay, from your mother's father. Did he get it from, whoops, did he get this from somebody earlier? Yes. From his father, from his mother. And did she get this from somebody earlier? Yes. From her mother, from her father. And did he get this from somebody earlier? Wow, this is going back a ways. Did he get this from his father, from his mother? So mother's father's mother. Wow, look at that. It's we've got that kind of mother father thing going on, which I see
That's
sometimes. I don't know
interesting.
what that means. Yeah, I had one time that went back about I think it was like 26 generations, and it was mother, father, mother, father, mother, father, all the way back.
Wow.
Now, I have no idea why these do that. There's something that we don't know about these, but anyway. So you got this from your mother's father's mother's father's mother, and did she get this from somebody earlier? Yes, from her mother, from her father. And did he get this from somebody earlier? No. So that's where it ends. All right. Do we need to know more about this inherited emotion? And the answer there is no. Interesting. So that's a ways, huh? Let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's about, yeah, I'd say roughly like 150 years ago,
Hmm.
give or take. So let's go ahead and release this. And so I'm just rolling down that governing meridian 10 times. Sometimes I lose track, so that might have been 11 or 12, doesn't matter. So did we release that inherited emotion of shock from you? Did that also release from uh, your mother and her father and all those ancestors? Yes, it did. Okay, awesome. So let's see here. Now you don't have any kids, right?
I have one son. I was going
You
to
have
ask
one
you that.
son.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when we roll to release these, we hold the intention to release this energy from any soul that's holding it, living or dead. So let's ask, did we release that? Did your son pick this up from you, by the way? Yes, he did. So he did inherit this from you. Did it release from you? Did it release from him? It did. Okay, good. So that did release from
Okay.
him as well.
Thank you.
So that's a good thing to point out. Now let's go ahead and move your knee around now, and let's see how it feels now compared to how it felt before.
There's definite improvement.
All right.
I'm having to stretch my leg out even more with a push to actually
Hmm.
feel something.
Okay, good.
And even that is now not even there.
All right, awesome. Well, so let's ask this question. Is there, we'll come back to our body code map and let's ask, is there something else that we need to work on here? Is there something else that we can treat or clear or help you to get rid of? Something else we can do regarding that left knee? Anything hidden? No, I'm getting nothing at this point. So it looks like that's it. So there you go. Let me know how that does, okay?
I will, because the other thing that was happening with it was on the right side of that knee, there was a bit of like a bruising, and I'm
You mean the
pressing
right
that
side of
as,
the, you mean the inside of the left knee?
yeah, inside of the
Okay.
left knee on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
There was a bit of bruising there, and I'm pressing it, and that's
Mm-hmm.
gone as well.
Okay,
So
good deal. Good deal.
brilliant.
Yeah, isn't that so fun? I mean, I just I think this is the most fun work that there is really in the whole world. And the beauty of this is of course, as you know, Sharan, as a practitioner, you can work with people like you do.
Hmm.
And do you have any idea how many countries you have clients in now? You ever counted them?
No, I haven't actually, but I'd say it's probably about six,
Yeah,
seven
that's pretty fun, huh?
countries. It is fun, and I get to work from home.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
So,
Keep your own hours, work from home, and you're totally mobile, right? I mean, you can take your laptop and go on vacation, and you could still see your clients, and you could be in the Caribbean, and who would know, right?
oh no, exactly. I work from the coffee shop sometimes because I feel like I need to go out. So, I can.
That's funny. Okay. Well,
So,
thank you so much, and keep me posted. Let me know how you do. All right.
I will do. Thank you
All
so
right. Thanks,
much.
Sharon.
Good to
You
talk to
bet.
you again.
Good to talk to you. Bye bye. All right. So isn't that interesting? So before we continue, I want to point out a couple of things. Okay. Um, Sharan, of course, is one of our practitioners. If you go to healerslibrary.com, you'll see on the far right of the gallery pictures here. Whoops. There's one that says "Become an Emotion Code Certified Practitioner." It's a little bit. Need to open it up a little bit here, and uh, and you can click there to learn more, and that will take you to a page where you can find out more about becoming a certified practitioner. The beauty of that is, just like I was talking with Sharan, you can actually have clientele that you can work on remotely, okay, by proxy, just like I'm working with people right now, and they can be anywhere in the world. You can have a completely new kind of lifestyle, a completely new way to make a living. And again, anybody can do this. There's nothing magical about what I'm doing. I'm here to just show you what can be done. And it's very inexpensive right now, $497 to become certified. So that's pretty inexpensive. And you can find yourself listed for a small fee on the Global Practitioner Referral Map. And you can see that we have practitioners all over the world now. And every time I look at this map, there are people in different areas. So people can actually find you on this map. You can put in a profile, and we've got lots and lots of practitioners here. We have over 1,100 practitioners here now worldwide in 39 different countries. So I wanted to share that with you. That's pretty exciting stuff. So let's get back now and see if we can work with somebody else. Let's take a look at, let's see if we can talk with Elizabeth. Elizabeth, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, great.
Yeah, all right. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
All right.
I'm so
I,
excited.
yeah, me too. I have a daughter, by the way, named Elizabeth. She's 13 and she spells it with an S, but beautiful, beautiful name. I've always liked that name. So, what's going on with you today? Fill me in.
Okay, so my left knee seems to pop quite a bit. I mean, not all the time, but a lot of times if I get up or I sit on it or I'm sitting in this particular spot, it pops like quite a bit. I can't seem to get it to pop right this second, but I'm sitting in a bigger chair. So,
Okay.
but
Do
it
you have any
pops
pain
and
in that
then
knee or anything? Okay. Go ahead. You have pain.
no,
It
it just
pops and then what?
pops. It just
Okay.
pops.
Just pops.
Whenever I like bend it from a bending position to a straight position when I stand up, and sometimes other people hear it, so
Okay.
sometimes it pops kind of loud.
Okay.
And then sometimes my, I don't know, it almost feels like a buildup of energy or something where I'll get this really achy feeling in my shoulder and kind of my upper forearm, like down that way.
Okay. Um, okay. But you're not really getting that in the knee though.
No,
That's the
it's not
left.
achy. It just pops. It just
Okay, just
pops.
pops.
It just
Okay. Well.
popped just now on the top of it.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's take a look here. So let's take just a moment. I'll ask for some help for us from up above, and then we'll continue. All right. All right. And so now think about this for a minute. Okay. Just as an aside here, this is just my own philosophy, but I believe that the highest duty of the healer is to act as a go-between for that higher power. See, and so that's why I believe it's so important, really critical. If you're trying to be a healer, you've got to draw on the powers of heaven to help you do what you're doing. And if you do that, and if you don't take any credit for the work that gets done and the miracles that happen, then God can work through you. If all of us, if you start thinking that you're so great because you can do all these amazing things, then you're on your own from that moment. See, so that's how it works. So just food for thought. So all right, Elizabeth, let's take a look here. Let's ask this way. Here we have our body code map. We'll ask a little bit in a little different way here than we did last time or the time before. Let's just ask this question. First of all, we got a good connection. Can I act as proxy for you? Yes. Okay, we're good there. So is there an underlying imbalance that's affecting your left knee that we can fix? And the answer is yes. Okay, so here we go. So there's definitely something going on. And here's a case where Elizabeth doesn't really have pain in her knee so much, but it pops. Now, what do you think? Do you think that that could be an indicator that something's not quite right in that knee? Yeah, you better believe it. Okay. And this is something that as time goes on, this kind of thing I've seen many times can actually then start turning into pain. And then you go to the doctor and you say, well, for a long time it just popped, but now it hurts me all the time. Or when it pops, it kills. And that type of thing is very common. So there's definitely an underlying imbalance here, and that imbalance, remember, we look for one imbalance at a time. The subconscious mind is like a Pez dispenser. It'll give you all the imbalances, but it can only give you to them one at a time, like a Pez dispenser dispenses candy. So we get our first Pez here. What is it? Is it on the right side of this imbalance? Is it on the right side of the chart? No. So it's on the left side. Is it some kind of energy then? Yes, it is. Is it emotional? No, it's not. Is it post-traumatic? No. Is it an allergy or an intolerance of some kind? No. Is it some kind of a mental energy? Okay, this is mental. So is it on the left side of our chart here? No. It's on the right. Is it an image? Is it a broadcast message or a need to move the past? It's actually what we call a will to die energy. Now, this is a specific kind of energy that gets stuck in the body when we wish that we were dead. Now, sometimes that happens because you're really depressed and you really want to just die. I've seen this happen also from acute embarrassment, like you're in 6th grade and you wet your pants or something like that happens, and you just want to disappear and die and vanish. That can happen from that as well. But that's what's going on with you. Do we need to know more about this? We do. Let's figure out an age on this. How old are you right now, Elizabeth?
I am 53.
53. Okay, let's ask when this occurred. Let's see here. When did this occur? Did this occur earlier than age 30? No, it didn't. Between 30 and 40? No. 40 to 50? Yep. 40 to 45? No. Around 45, 46, around 47, 48, 49 is testing strong. Now remember that when we go back like this, it's accurate within a year, generally plus or minus. So you might have actually been 48 or you might have actually been 49, but I would say roughly around 4 years ago. So it's 2013, so maybe, if you think about what was going on around that time, around 4 years ago.
I mean, I can think of a couple of things.
Okay. All right. Well, now, one of the beautiful things about the emotion code and the body code is that private things get to stay private. What I'd like you to do is just pick one of those. Are you thinking of like 2 events maybe, or a couple of events maybe?
Well, it was a layoff from job.
Okay. Think about the layoff. All right. Think about what happened around that. And then let's ask, is that what created this will to die energy? No. It wasn't the layoff that did it. There was something else. Now, since we know that you got laid off around that time, what we can do to dig deeper to help you maybe is we can ask, well, did this energy get stuck in your body before you were laid off? No, it was after. So that might help you. It has to be either before or after. So
maybe the inability to maybe find employment or to, because I took a lot lesser paying job in a different area.
Okay. So let's ask if it was about that. Bingo. Now I'm getting very strong. Yeah, that's exactly what it was about. So interesting, huh? All right. Now, do we need to know more about this? Now we don't, see, but we couldn't have released this really unless we had dug a little bit deeper. So let's release this. We release this will to die energy with 3 rolls down the governing meridian. There's 3. Did we release that energy? Yes, we did. Okay. Now let's go back out to our home page here and let's ask this question. Okay, your left knee pops all the time. Is there another underlying reason for that? And guess what? The answer is yes. There's something else. Is it on the right side of the chart? No. Left side of the chart. Okay. So is it some kind of energy? No. Is it toxicity? No. Circuitry? Yes. Organ? Yes. It's actually an organ. Okay. So what organ is this? Is this an organ on the left side or the right side? Okay, so is it heart, lungs, spleen, stomach? Is it gallbladder or liver? It's actually the liver. Okay. Now you never know when you're tracking things down like this. You just have to have an open mind, and because you never know where you're going to find something. So your liver's got some kind of an imbalance going on, and apparently this has something to do with your left knee. Now there aren't any direct connections really between the liver and the left knee. They're all, you can see them here, the right rhomboid and the pectoralis major. But you never know. You never know. The old saying is the old saying of holistic doctors is anything can cause anything, right? So you just fix whatever shows up. So we have a liver imbalance. So what's creating this liver imbalance? Is there an underlying reason for it? Yes, there is. What's the reason? And is that reason on the right or the left? Is it an energy? Yes. Is it emotional? Yes, it is. So we're right up here. So is it a trapped emotion? Yep. Is it in column A or column B? Column B, is it in one of the odd rows? No. So we know it's in an even row on column B. We have 15 emotions left. It's got to be in 2, 4, or 6. Is it in row 2? No. Is it in row 4? Yes. Okay. So is it depression? No. Is it frustration? Okay. It's actually a trapped emotion of frustration. Okay. Now, interesting. Notice where, just as an aside here, notice that isn't that interesting? This is also coming out of row 4, which tends to affect gallbladder. Of
The
course, your
liver.
knee trouble is on the left side, but yeah, it's just interesting. So frustration due to a trapped emotion of frustration. And do we need to know more about this emotion? And actually, no, we don't. So we'll go ahead and release it. Asking that question, do we need to know more, can save you really a lot of time. And what was the connection here? Why was the liver affecting your left knee? I have no idea, and I don't worry about it. I don't have time. Let's just keep going, right? I'm busy. I have places to go and things to do. So let's just keep moving on here. And you could, though, if you really wanted to dig deeper and try to figure out what the connection was, you could, because the subconscious knows. But my philosophy, I've always kind of, had a lot going on. And when I was in practice, I had usually had a room full of waiting room full of people, and had about 10 minutes per person, and and I was working on a lot of people that had been told there was no cure for them, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to pussyfoot around. I mean, if something was fixed, I just moved on. So is your liver happy now? And the answer there is actually yes. Okay, so that's all we'll do there. So let's ask again, is there another underlying reason why that left knee pops? Is there another underlying reason on the right side or the left side? Is there a hidden reason? Sometimes you'll have a reason that's kind of beneath the clouds and you can't quite see it. Is there a hidden reason? And the answer there is no. Okay, so that's all that shows up for you at the moment. Those are the only reasons that show up for right now. So you'll have to let us know how you do. Okay?
Definitely.
Yeah, so.
Thank you.
Yeah, how does that, now I know you probably weren't noticing much with it, but it did pop a minute ago. Why don't you put it through some positions right now, and maybe try bending too, or maybe try doing a squat really quick and just see how it feels.
No, it doesn't seem to be popping. It popped one more time, but
Okay, but it doesn't seem to be. It popped one more time, and then as you continued, it wasn't popping anymore.
yeah, I know if I'm kind of like doing a squat or something, it's not
Okay.
popping.
All right. So how's it feel? Do you notice any difference in that knee? Does it feel any more stable or anything like that?
No, I don't know that I notice anything different. It's just not
Just
it's
not
not popping
popping.
now. So
Yeah. Well, there we go. Well, that was the problem, and so hopefully we fixed the problem. So, all right. Well, let's see here. Let's see if we can take one more person. I'm gonna go ahead and mute you again. But thank you, Elizabeth, and let us know how you do. Okay.
thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. By the way, I've asked a lot of you to share with us what's going on, or stay in touch with us. And here's how you can do that. If you go to Healer's Library, okay, you'll notice that on the left side down here is where we post our webinars. All right. And so you'll see this webinar probably within a few days. It'll be here. So what you can do is you can click on that webinar, and then you'll actually be able to leave a comment. Okay. Let's see. Well, I guess I can't, but you can see how people have left. Oh yeah, you can right here. So you can leave a comment, and then you can let us know. And then that way, the beauty of that is that your comment is connected up with other, with this webinar itself. And then that way, people who are watching the webinar can just scroll down and say, oh, well, there's Elizabeth and Sharon and Gail, and here's what they said later. That's really fun for people. Okay. So, all right, let's take a look here. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can talk with Margita. So, Margita, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. Yeah, you're coming in loud and clear.
Okay.
So, what's going on with you?
Well, I've had this clicking in my left knee for several months now when I go up the stairs.
In the left knee?
In the left knee.
Okay. Okay, kind of interesting. Kind of like Elizabeth, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's not pop. It's like a little click, 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 click.
Okay. Now,
and my
does your knee-
chiropractor said it's not tracking properly, and he's done adjustments, but it's not holding. So
Not holding.
I know there's
Okay.
something.
Well, listen, as an old chiropractor, I understand this, all right? Because what happens is as a chiropractor, you're trained to realign things. And the problem is bones don't exist in a vacuum. You've got all these muscles, and the muscles are connected up to the bones. And so to really hold the bones together, you've got to look at the muscles. And muscle imbalances are almost always due to organ or gland imbalances, which are almost always in turn due to trapped emotions, or that's usually what it is. There can be something else, as you've seen here, but okay, well, let's take a look here and see what we can do. Left knee. All right, I'll ask for some help for us from up above, and then we'll get going, okay?
Okay.
All right, let's see if we got a good connection. And we do. All right, so let's look at our body code map, and let's ask, is there an imbalance in your left knee? Okay. And so if we're going to fix that imbalance, where would we find it? Would we find it on the right or the left side? Okay, so left side of the chart. Is it some kind of energy? Is it toxicity? No. So it's some kind of a circuit. So is it an organ or a gland? Okay, it's a gland. Here we go. So wild guess here. Is it adrenal? Bingo. Yeah, there you go. See, we could have gone through all of them, but why?
Surprise,
Right.
surprise. Yeah.
Surprise, yeah. All right, here we go. You know, it's so funny because when I used to teach seminars, and we for a number of years I taught this information about the organ and gland connections in the seminars that I used to teach. And when I would get to this point, it was so funny because I would ask people to raise their hand if they had left knee pain, and I'd have them all come up and line up. And sometimes we'd get. I remember I was in Dublin, Ireland, and did this, and I think I was asking if anybody had gallbladder, or if anybody had right knee pain, and most of the room came up for whatever reason. It was really interesting. But what I would do is I would just check the organ on each person one by one, and I would find they would all, it never failed, every single time. There was a 100% correlation. If you've got right knee pain, you've got a gallbladder imbalance. If you've got left knee pain, you have an adrenal gland imbalance, at least with that left side gland. I mean, 100%. I mean, for years I would do that, and it's really kind of comical. But there's probably video of me doing that somewhere. But anyway, that's how powerful this is. And I'm telling you, you can do this too, see? So if you're at a dinner party or you meet somebody and they say, wow, my left knee hurts, you can touch that adrenal gland test point, and you can see them right here on the chart, and just do a muscle test, and they won't be able to hold their arm up. And so it's really kind of fun. In fact, I remember after the very first seminar that I taught in 1998 in San Diego, there was a guy that came, and I met up with him a few months later somewhere, and I asked him how he was doing, and he said he was a single guy, he's probably about 40, and he said it was really interesting. He told me this experience he had. He was on a date, and he was doing some testing on his date. It was this was a first date for the two of them, and he found an imbalance somewhere, and he said, well, I'll bet you that you have pain in your left knee, don't you? And she said, yeah, that's really weird. How did you know that? And then he didn't say anything, and he kept testing, and he said, well, I'll bet you that your right knee bothers you too, doesn't it? And she said, yeah, and she backs up a step, and then he found something else on her, and that was the end of the date. It was over. It was too far outside of her box. So this works great for dating as well. Let's see. Works great for dating. If you're trying to have a failed date, I guess.
I think that maybe was why my adrenals are out of whack, because I had a failed date.
Could be, yeah.
Failed relationship. So.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That'll be a big one. Well, let's ask if we can work on you by proxy. We've got a good connection. So, all right. So let's see here. Let's see where we go. We've got this adrenal imbalance. So is your left adrenal happy? No. Is your right adrenal happy? Ooh, both adrenal glands are imbalanced. Okay. So pretty soon you're probably going to start getting clicking in the right knee if we don't fix this. Okay. So they're both imbalanced. So let's ask this question. We'll go back out to our main page here, and let's ask, is there something that is imbalancing your adrenal glands? Something that we can correct? And yes. So is it on the right or the left? Is it an energy? It's absolutely an energy. Is it emotional? Yes, it is. Okay, so is it a trapped emotion? Yes. Is it in column A? Yes. Column B, no. So it's in column A. Is it in one of the odd rows? Yes. Is it in row 1? Yes. It's in row 1, column A. So is the emotion abandonment? No. Is it betrayal? Nope. Is it forlorn? Nope. Lost? No. Love unreceived? Ooh, love unreceived is the one. So love unreceived is where you have love, you're sending out love, and that love is not being reciprocated, or this can happen when a relationship ends. It can also happen when there's a death, for example, in the family, because the love that you have for that person now doesn't have anywhere to go because they're gone. So love unreceived. Does that ring a bell at all?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So let's ask, do we need to know more about this trapped emotion? And the answer I'm getting is no. So let's go ahead and we'll release that one. Okay. And do we clear that, release that trapped emotion? The answer there is yes. Okay. Now, how did we find that? Well, we found that your left adrenal was imbalanced. And let me make a note of that really quick. Or actually, that was affecting.
It was
that
both,
affecting
yeah.
both? It was actually both. Yeah. Okay. Both
Uh-huh.
adrenals. Yep. Okay. We'll say they were sad. Love unreceived. Okay. They were sad. Okay, love it. So we cleared that. Now, are your adrenals happy yet? No. Is your right adrenal happy? Oh, it is. Is your left adrenal happy? No. Okay, so now, interesting, huh? So left
Yeah.
adrenal, we got to move to that one. Is there an underlying reason why the left adrenal is sad? And the answer is yes. Okay, so let's go back out to our home page and let's ask, is this by any chance because of an energy imbalance? Is it because of something emotional? No. Is it post-traumatic? Okay, so it's something post-traumatic. I thought that it probably would be in that upper left area. So is this something on the left side of the chart? Yes. Is it a psychic trauma? Yes, it is. Psychic trauma. Do we need to know more about this? Yes. Okay, so a psychic trauma is where we end up with, we end up feeling usually 2 trapped emotions, rarely more than 2. I don't think I've ever seen more than 2. But if you feel a couple of trapped emotions simultaneously and they're very strong, they can become trapped and combined into one ball of energy that shows up as a psychic trauma.
So that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. You know, it might have been 3, or it might have even been 1. I mean, your body says 2. In other words, we got that year, or it said you're 58, but you might have been 59, or you might have been 57. So, does it ring a bell at all?
I'm thinking of some financial challenges.
Okay. Was this due to financial challenges that you were going through? And actually, yeah, the answer there is yes. So that's, do we need to know more about this? The answer is no. All right. So you see how emotional episodes that we go through can stay with us. Did we release that psychic trauma from you? Yes, we did. Okay. Is there another underlying reason for your clicking in the left knee when you go upstairs? The answer is no. Now, do you have any stairs nearby?
No, I don't, but I can do squats.
Yeah, why don't you do some squats and let's see how it feels. Normally when you do squats, you get the clicking?
Yes, deep knee bends, I'm not experiencing anything. I'm feeling really nice and limber, actually.
This is good. Okay.
Feels good.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you, Margarita. I appreciate that a lot. And I'm going to go ahead and mute your line, okay?
Thank you. I'll see you in June in the Body Code seminar.
Oh, yes, absolutely. That's going to be so much fun. All right, bye-bye
Yeah,
now.
thank you.
Right,
bye-bye.
All right, fantastic. So what she's referring to is this seminar that we're going to be doing in Midway, Utah. Okay, this is the Body Code seminar. We're going to be covering the new version of the Body Code Edition 2, which is going to be we're going to have a lot more information in there. The original Body Code, for example, in the mind map system has about 118 hyperlinked pages. The new one, so far, we're at about 204 hyperlinked pages. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. It's going to be so much fun. You're going to be bummed out if you miss this seminar. And we do not have very many seats left. So if you haven't signed up yet and you want to attend, you can just go to this page. This is a beautiful resort up here, the Zermatt Resort. Anyway, I thought that might bring up a picture, but I guess it didn't. anyway, so there you go. That's what's going on there. A couple of websites I want to show you really quick. drbradleynelson.com. You can go here, get more information about a lot of these things that are going on. And we have testimonials all the time that we're posting, and articles and so on. So a lot of fun. And again, if you're interested in finding out more information about the Body Code, go to bodycodehealingsystem.com. Okay, bodycodehealingsystem.com. And you can read about it and find out about it, and you can learn to heal. You can help yourself. You can help your children. You can have a much higher level of function. A lot of the time, you can feel a lot better. You can figure out what's wrong with you, figure out what's wrong with your kids and with your loved ones, and so on. And so remember that the subconscious mind is the most powerful healing computer in the whole universe, and you can instantly tap into that subconscious mind to get the answer for every health question that you have. So it's a beautiful thing, and it is currently available. So you can go to that site, again, Body Code Healing System. And I wanted to show you, let's see here, a couple of other things really fast. Okay, for more information and support, you can visit us online at healerslibrary.com or bodycodehealing.com. Bodycodehealing.com will take you to that same page, Body Code Healing System. Okay, same thing. drbradleynelson.com. And we also are on Facebook, facebook.com/Dr. Bradley Nelson and facebook.com/Healers Library. Okay. So once again, I want to thank you all for joining us. I'm sorry I couldn't get to everybody, but have a great day and keep up the good work. All right. Bye-bye now.